Hey, what is going on, guys? Phaser or Dalton here, back with episode 2. And I just want to go ahead and say, guys, the support on episode 1 is absolutely insane. So I just want to say thank you so much for all the support and the love that is shown on that video. I wasn't sure how it was going to go because it had been quite a while since I had posted a video and last made it public on my channel. And I wasn't sure if I would do content again in any form, but now that I'm, trying it back out again and just kind of seeing where it goes, I am very, very grateful for how it turned out so far, and hopefully it can continue to grow to a much higher level. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. However, in the, agenda of today's episode, I guess, I think I remember last time. I'm not going to lie, I have not watched my last episode back in its entirety. Rarely do I do that other than in editing. So I think that I said I wanted to put out that fire, but in order to do that, I need a water bucket, which in order to attain that, I need to mine. And I believe, I could be wrong, did I mention setting up a farm of some sort? I don't know. I don't remember about the farm part, but let's do this. Okay, so we have a stone pickaxe. Okay, I think I have my go inventory set up. So let's go ahead and let's go mining. Let's go try to find some iron. I think this quarry area or quarry, whatever, is pretty good. Is that water? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's water. I'm just gonna start mining this way. You know what? Let's not do that because I could be mining forever, to be honest. So let's go try to find a cave. And I know I screenshotted last episode, but I do just want to type in this just in case I get lost, because I'm not the best at remembering where my base is, just because I legitimately just, without coordinates, that is, because I just straight up get so lost in trying to find what I'm looking for. So in today's episode, what I would like to talk about is cybersecurity. Now, that might be a random subject to some of you, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I decided I wanted to start learning it. Now, a little bit of background about me. Why are these trees, why are there stumps? Is that part of the world generation? Or is he who shall not be named somewhere loose in this world? We don't know. Oh, this is a perfect place to find iron. I'm sure there's exposed iron somewhere here, right? But anyway, going back to what I was talking about with a little bit about me, just kind of a little bit of lore, I guess. So I recently graduated. I say recently, about 2 years ago, almost to the day. It's about 2 months too late. So it's July 2025 right now. I graduated college in May of 2023. So essentially, I graduated with a finance degree. I graduated with 2 degrees, actually. So one in finance and one in banking. And so with that, I originally was just going to do, well, let me backtrack. So I went to college and I wasn't originally going to go. So, did I just hear a skeleton? Oh, that was a stalagmite. Or is it stalactite? Okay, guys, remind me in the comments, please. Is this stalagmite and that's stalactite, or is it reversed? I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to that in class, so I know that's their names. I just don't know which is which. But anyway, so I was gonna go to college originally. I wasn't gonna go originally, and so basically what had happened was I was going to get my real estate license instead of going to college, and the reason for that is because my dad at the time, still is, but very strongly just getting into it at the time, was getting into real estate and was having great success there. And I just got to a point where I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I didn't know even just a general direction of what I wanted to do. I just graduated high school. I decided I was not going to continue going with sports in college. I just didn't have the passion for it anymore, nor did I have the interest. So I just kind of figured out, I need to do something, and what I thought that I knew best at the time was real estate. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to get my real estate license. I'm not going to go into college. I just don't want to do it. And plus, who wants to take out student loans, right? So essentially what had happened was I got to a point where it was decision time, because it was nearing the end of nearing the end of, well, I say nearing the end, maybe like halfway through summer at that point, and my buddy at the time, I will call him Michael. So my buddy Michael, I have known him since I was like 3 years old. He was applying for colleges and he wanted to go for just general business. And that was the degree he wanted to go for. And he was talking to me, and I remember I pulled up to his house one day. We live pretty close. And I started talking to him, and I asked him, what are you going to do now that you graduated? Like, are you going to college? Are you going to do something else? And he's like, I think I'm going to go to college. And he goes, you should go too. I'm going to go to this college. And I said, well, I'm not really planning on going to college. And, he was like, yeah, dude, we could room together. Like, it'd be a great time. And it sounded like a good idea. And at the time, and I was kind of, just not really knowing what I wanted to do. There's the skeleton. Yeah, I'm getting out of here because I'm not prepared to deal with the skeleton right now. We got plenty of iron, so we can make like a bucket, a shield, and all that, and then we'll be back. But definitely got what we came for. Got some iron, but it is nighttime, so we're gonna have to fend for ourselves going back. But anyway, so I'm over here thinking, and the ideas in my head of I'll give college a thought. I don't know what I do. And I needed to know what I would do before I obviously committed, because I'm not just going to go just because my friend's going, and I'm not going to go without a plan. That's a waste of time and money and effort. So let me see. It was 603, 132. Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. I accidentally tabbed out of the game. Hopefully that wasn't too abrupt, but I was trying to check the coordinates and I hit the Windows key. But anyway, so I started thinking, what do I want to do? And I came to the conclusion, I think I know the direction now. I came to the conclusion that I wanted to do criminal justice. And I was interested in criminal justice because I, at the time, wanted to be a private investigator and or bounty hunter. And because I had known some people who had done bounty hunting, and I had known some people who had done private investigations, and I didn't want to be a lawyer, didn't want to be a cop, so I'm like, that's, I don't know if I need a degree for this type of stuff. I know it's recommended in some areas or some companies, but I just didn't know. It was really just all over the place, not really any plan, rhyme, or reason, just didn't really know what I wanted to do. So what ended up happening was I decided on criminal justice, and we showed up to tour the campus. And when we showed up to tour the campus, my dad was there with me, obviously, and my mom was as well. And he was like, hey, man, do you want to be a lawyer? I said, no. He's like, do you want to be a cop? I'm like, no. He's like, do you really want to be a bounty hunter or a PI? Like, do you really think there's good money in it? I was like, I mean, I don't know what type of money's in it. I know they don't make nothing. And so, again, this was on campus. So we were having this conversation, and this is before we went inside. And so I was talking to him, and he was just kind of like, maybe you should reconsider. I feel like if you did something, and like finance, then that would be a much like wider avenue of jobs and prospective things than going to criminal justice and not knowing what you want to do, maybe not doing anything at all, and not making as much money as you thought, and then all that type of stuff. So I started thinking, and I had, again, real estate, finance, not the same thing, but the same realm of, study, the same realm of intellect in a way. And I just thought, okay, well, it's not a bad idea. I've always been good at math. I've always been good with numbers. Why not, right? So what I did was I decided to go into not the dean's, the chair's office, the chair of the finance department of the college, I believe is what it was. And I said I wanted to switch my major. So, because I think when you apply, you have to declare your major. So I sent in an application to the college. I skipped that part. Geez. I sent in an application, got accepted. Then you have to declare your major. I'm pretty sure on the application, like what do you want to study and what do you think you want to do? So that's what I did. And I did criminal justice, and then, of course, wanted to switch when I got there, which was perfectly fine. So they said, all right, we'll go in here, have a seat, we'll bring you some paperwork, we'll have you switch it over. So while I was sitting there, I guess the chair of the committee or the chair of the finance department, whoever this guy was, decided he was like eavesdropping. So he just peeks his head around the corner. Like I just see his head like a cartoon. And he goes, hey, you should do banking too. And I was like, okay, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm so and so, I'm the chair. And he's like, I really believe that banking would be beneficial. And I said, well, why do you say that? And ooh, first tree grew in. Ooh, never mind, second, third tree. And he basically just told me that banking and finance were the same courses, so there would be no extra money spent other than 2 courses. So banking had 2 extra courses than finance did for the major, and those were accounting classes, which I did not like. But basically, it was you're taking exactly the same classes, so your overlap is going to be almost 100%, and you're still going to be and you're still going to be able to graduate in the same amount of time, and you will be able to pretty much spend the same amount of money, and you will not have to do anything extra. So I said, okay, well, if it's literally 2 degrees for the price of 1, and I'm quite literally getting the exact same, classes except for 2, and I'm getting 2 degrees, that looks a lot better than 1. What's the harm in it? So I went ahead and did it. So graduated with my bachelor's in finance, and I also got a bachelor's in banking and financial institutions is the full official name of the degree. So I went in, and about, I would say a month after I graduated, close to a month after I graduated, I went ahead and got a job at a bank that I still work at today. And I'm looking at leaving that job, and I am currently looking at going into an insurance brokerage company, not as a salesman, but as a kind of like a account back office numbers crunch type of thing, which I would prefer over sales, because the job that I'm at right now at the bank is unironically maybe, a sales heavy job. It's new accounts, loan applications, business loan applications, just all sorts of stuff that's just really frustrating and annoying, and it's just the sales tactics they want you to use are not ideal and not in line with how I would operate dealing with human beings. So I've been there for a little over 2 years, and I finally got tired of it, and I said, you know what, I'm done. So I'm in talks with somebody right now at that insurance company. I texted them just yesterday, and they're ready to have a phone interview with me pretty soon, so I'm looking forward to that. However, the reason I brought up that whole backstory, which may have seemed like a completely wild detour, actually loops back around to the cybersecurity that I mentioned earlier. So the reason that I mentioned the cybersecurity, by the way, objective checked off, we got rid of the fire, and we got a bucket and got some iron, and I guess we can start on a farm now, because, that's another thing that I wasn't sure that I said I wanted to do, but it doesn't hurt to do it. But anyway, so we go and, we start looking at cyber security, and I'm thinking to myself, I know it's going to take a while to learn. I know this is not easy. I know this is going to be difficult, but I've always been interested in computers. I've always been interested in, how computers work, how the internet works, how certain protocols work, that type of thing. What was that? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. So I'm on my Streamlabs. I guess live shout out, ACT Brimstone. Thanks for the sub. I'm not streaming. I'm recording just on Streamlabs. However, I guess my YouTube is connected to my Streamlabs because I've live streamed on YouTube before. I forgot that was connected. So it makes a noise when someone subscribes. So again, ACT Brimstone, thank you for the subscription, brother. I appreciate it. You caught me while I was recording, so awesome. But basically, when it comes to cybersecurity, I've always been interested in stuff like that, just the general concept of cybersecurity. So I started looking, and I said, well, do I have to go to college? Is this like a degree thing? Which I'm not going to lie, I wasn't going to do it if it required going back to college. And it doesn't. So apparently the curriculum is put out by CompTIA. That's like a very well-known organization and one of the most widely accredited institutions that gives out the curriculum. And what they do once they give out the curriculum is you can either pay for it and have certain people teach courses on it, or there's free. Like I know Professor Messer is a free one. I found an 8-hour video that's not his but someone else's that gives out, man, seeds are hard to come by now, huh? But basically it's free to where you are, it's an 8-hour video, and right now I'm taking A+, which, if you're not familiar with what cybersecurity curriculum is, I don't know all of them. I'm not going to act like I'm some expert. However, A+ is going to be the basics, like how do you change out a battery, or how do you change out the HDD or SSD in a laptop? How do you change the camera on a mobile phone? How do you basically hardware, and then I believe there's some malware / troubleshooting / basics when it comes to like basic network things when it comes to the A+ curriculum. It's an 8-hour long video. I'm currently watching it on my own time. I am chopping it up into 20 to 30 minute study sessions every night. And then what I'm doing is every other night, so say Monday I watch it, Tuesday I go and anything that I type up in my notes that I don't understand fully or want to learn a little bit more about, I will put a note that says in parentheses deeper dive. So that way I know what I want to do a deeper dive into, and then on those other nights, so say Monday I do the video, Tuesday I'll do a deeper dive into those concepts I wasn't sure about and get a better understanding, take more notes on them, and then once I feel like I have a good grasp on it, then Wednesday I'll go back into more new information from the video. And I figured if I stay consistent with it, it should be about maybe a month to a month and a half, accounting for some delays. Maybe like I'm about to go on vacation and see my nephew for the first time, so obviously I'm not going to be doing it over there, and that's going to be a 4-day stint. So maybe like a month to a month and a half, I will be able to complete the A+. Now the thing is, the certification exams, while the information's free, the taking of the exam is not. It is quite expensive. So it's I believe it's $200+ to take the A+ if you get CompTIA certified. And then there's another. So once you take it though, you get emailed a certificate and you're certified and you're good to go. Which that certificate's very good. However, when you get to your Security Plus and your Network Plus or Networking Plus, those are two other curriculums that are much more difficult, much more technically based, much more like, okay, we're defending against cyber attacks, we're learning how to build this, we're learning how to do, learning coding a little bit. And so, like Python, and learning how to, program certain things and create certain programs with coding. I'm not familiar with that at all. I know that's going to take a while. I figured this is going to take me bare minimum to get these 3 certifications, bare minimum a year. If I'm like one after another, knocking them down, just going straight for the goal and not letting up, and I'm putting a lot of time into it. I know that may seem like a short amount of time to someone who's never done it before, but maybe I could do it. I think I can. I believe in my ability to study and to learn and stuff, especially in stuff that I'm interested in, for sure. So we'll see, but I truthfully believe that it's possible, and I think that it's definitely an achievable goal, and I believe that once I complete those certifications, that is going to get me in the door to pretty much any cybersecurity job that I want to. Not any job like senior lead or lead hacker or whatever, like lead ethical hacker. Those aren't real titles, but maybe they are. I don't know, but I'm just making stuff up. Point being, it can pretty much get you in the door anywhere. Showing those certifications, not only just those certifications, but showing that you also have built a home lab, knowing that you know how to code, knowing that you know Linux and stuff like that. So that's why I'm gonna take my time and really learn it. Plus, even if I don't, I want to get the certifications, but even if I decide not to go into the cybersecurity field, which I imagine that if I am spending the time and effort to do that, I would go into the field eventually if I felt confident in myself about what I've learned. And I think that's fine. And even if I don't go into the field, again, I think I would. But if I didn't, I still think that's a great thing to know. I think it's a great thing to know cybersecurity just as a civilian, I guess. I believe that that's a very good skill, and I believe that you can teach it to other people, even the basic stuff, instead of just being ignorant and being hacked or falling for certain scams or not knowing what happens if someone's malicious towards you on the internet. I believe that it's very important to know how to defend yourself, and I don't like being a victim, I'll put it that way. I definitely want to have the ability to protect myself in any capacity, whether that be, physically, verbally, online, whatever that case may be. But when it comes to the certifications, as I said, it's about $200 plus on just the A plus certification. However, for security and network, I believe it's anywhere from $350 to like $400 something per exam, which is again a hefty price tag, which is why I think that it's definitely going to take me a while before I get the certifications, because I'm not willing at this point in my life to drop, especially I would have to know the curriculum. I would have to be confident in acing it, like take the practice exams, whatnot that they provide, before dropping like a grand on just the three, main certifications, or the base certifications. I guess they would call them the foundational certifications. And then you go into more curriculum later on, but that would be more specific to your niche. So let's say you have an ethical hacker, type of leaning. You that's what you're, in for, or you like networking, or you like coding, or whatever the case is. Then you'd be able to get into that more niche curriculum, to where you could learn more specifics, more detailed advanced curriculum that has different names and whatever. I'm not familiar with those, to be honest, but essentially that is where I am at. So I'm looking to learn that. I am very confident that I can, but it's definitely going to be some hard work. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some patience. I do know that. I know it's very frustrating from the people that I see online that have done it, that have said it's very frustrating. You must have a lot of patience and whatnot. So that is what I'm mentally preparing for. And yeah, and hopefully I get to go to this insurance company pretty soon, and there I'll be having to learn a lot about insurance. Commercial insurance, residential insurance. Oh gosh, did that? Okay, that didn't dig into my house. I thought it obstructed my house for a second. I was like, man, that tree got close. But yeah. So a lot of moving parts in my life right now, guys. But it's exciting. It's a great time. It's an exciting time. I'm very happy. And on top of that, this YouTube channel. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I know in the game I'm like not doing much. I mean, I've done what I accomplished. It just took a lot quicker than I thought it would. I thought I'd be a lot longer on these objectives. So I'm sorry if I've been like walking around not doing much. I get lost in talking and speech sometimes. So let me know in the comments if you guys want me to try to be more proactive in the world, instead of just kind of doing what I'm doing right now, because I understand that there can be some frustration with just standing around. But when it comes to the YouTube channel, for the longest time, and I'm just gonna run you guys through a quick little lore, not the whole thing. Maybe I'll give you more detailed lore later on, and it's for no other reason other than it's just late and I'm really tired right now. And so once I finish recording this, I'm dipping out to bed. But basically, I started right out of high school, the summer going into college, recording and streaming on Twitch and streaming on YouTube to a degree, but mainly on Twitch, and getting really excited about content creation. And that made me that made me tick. That was the thing that made my mind tick. It was the thing that made me excited about life. And I would remember going into my freshman year of college, being in my small dorm room, like my 2 square foot dorm room, but having my setup there and knowing that was all I needed. And I would go into class, and I would pay attention in class, of course, but I'd be daydreaming all day about content, about what I'm going to do for the stream, what I'm going to do for this, what I'm going to do for that. And that got me excited. And around end of sophomore year into junior year, like end of sophomore into the beginning of junior year, rather, I got a girlfriend, and that was my first real major girlfriend. And at first I was streaming, she was very supportive, and then I ended up not having the passion for it anymore. It wasn't because of her, it was just she was a very supportive person. It was just something inside me, I couldn't find myself to stream for even 1 hour. And I was glad when the stream was over. I didn't want to make content. I didn't want to stream. And it was unusual for me, because I'm thinking to myself, why in the world am I not wanting to do the thing that I just recently was loving and dedicated a lot of my time to, most of my time to? And so it didn't make sense to me at all, if I'm being honest. And it still doesn't. I still don't know why that happened, but I just, for, you know, a couple years since that, I just lost my passion for, I felt like there was a void. I felt like there was something there that was supposed to be there but wasn't, in terms of that drive, that need to do something, that desire to complete a task, that thing that got me going no longer existed. And I needed to fix that. And I just tried to get back into content, but my heart wasn't in it. And I was like, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's not the right thing even. Maybe it's something else. And I was honestly, quite frankly, I was depressed. Like, not depressed in terms of clinically, but I went through a period of time where I was just upset all the time because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't like my bank job. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, where am I going in my life? And I finally started up this channel again a couple days ago, thinking, you know what? I'm not going to burden myself with, I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to stream for this long. I'm just going to make content. I'm just going to do what I want and go at the pace that is healthy for me in my mind. And we're going to see where that goes. And the first video was amazing reception. And this has reinvigorated something in me that I have not felt in a very long time. So I do want to sit here and, again, I know I haven't been doing much in the video, but I've been doing a lot of talking, and I'll try to fix that. But I appreciate you guys with your support and your nice words in the comments. They have been extremely motivating and extremely awesome to read, quite frankly. And a lot of you guys are saying, like, you're in the same boat. Like, you want to record, you want to do content as well. And I wish you guys the best of luck in everything that you do with that. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, mainly the cybersecurity stuff, which required a little bit of lore on me, you know, going into my college days. But yeah, so I will, I think we'll end it off here. We, you know, got a functioning tree farm now. We planted our seeds. Now we're going to start growing some wheat, go turn that into bread. We got some iron armor, got a water bucket, got a shield. We ended up getting an iron pickaxe, put out the fire over there, relocated our sugarcane farm. So we did a decent amount. It just wasn't, it wasn't anything special. So anyways, guys, I hope to see you in the next video. I don't know what objective I want to do in the next video. It's honestly going to be whatever we're feeling. Maybe we upgrade the house. Maybe we do something. I have no clue, guys. But with that being said, this is Chill Minecraft, so we're not going to be pushing the Ender Dragon in episode 5. So we're definitely going to be taking our time and enjoying this, and I want this to be a relaxing experience for everybody and something you watch while you're eating dinner, going to sleep, eating lunch, or just when you want to watch something when you're bored. I don't know. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. And again, I can't promise daily uploads, but we will do our best to be as consistent as possible. And very excited for the future and see what that holds. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. God bless you all. Peace out.